Yes, good.
Okay, gentlemen, let me call the house to order, and hello and good morning, good afternoon and good evening, wherever you might be. And welcome everyone to this first edition of the Hotel Show new F&B Stakeholder Series of live online discussions. And a very big thank you to the Hotel Show. We all look forward to attending in the new year, and that will be very exciting. My name is Edward Harvey. I'm director of Elevate, a Dubai-based food and beverage consultancy, providing support and advice to a wide range of clients across Europe and the Middle East. We provide consultancy services predominantly in the world of hospitality, but specifically design and development. And if you want more information about myself and us, you can find it at elevatefb.com. Now, moving forward, and the whole focus of today is, I'm pleased to announce we've got just under 1,000 registrations, and that's from 25 different countries. We will be speaking in English, though, and hopefully having an energetic, possibly robust and fun discussion.
Italiano, huh?
Vinicio, I'm going to be a moderator for the day or for the next hour, and we very much look forward to and hope that we'll have some involvement from yourself, and that's through interactions through the chat box that you'll see on your screen. We have 3 fantastic participants, and you can see we're all slightly interconnected. We know each other well. We know each other's strengths and weaknesses, but I hope there won't be too much banter and lots of informative discussion around the subject matter today. But you've heard enough from me, and what I'd like to first of all do is introduce Vinicio Alberelli. If you could go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about the context of why you are an authority on food and beverage. So just light touch on your background.
Fantastic, Edward. So, of course, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, everyone around the world. I just, first of all, take the opportunity to say thank you to Hotel Show, Edward, to invite me. And I'm so happy and, to share this few minutes, probably less than an hour, with my good friend, Chef Izu, Omar, and still our friendship is back in the days, and the career progression and everything we've been doing, it's still there, evident, amazing. And from my side, of course, food and beverages in the DNA. I think what I can say that I come from a family business, and that's where my roots are, back in Italy, in the north of Italy, very close to France, in Liguria. And then the luck brought me to Dubai, very back in the days, to open Atlantis Hotel, and that was amazing, an amazing opportunity to get in touch with the international world, from a small town of Italy to Dubai and the world. Nowadays, I'm working in Nikki Beach. I'm actually the global head of operation for the group, the hotel division of Nikki Beach. And I think this opportunity that I have to work in Nikki Beach is like working in a family. It's a family business, and that is actually, in a way, coming back to my roots. We know every employer by name. We know everyone, strengths and weakness. We always stick together. Those times as well. I always want to see the opportunity around those difficult times to bond together and to listen to each other. And you really see how people that they really believe in the company, in the value, in the core message of the company now is even more engaged than before. So that's where I am. I work in this amazing company, family business company. Our base is between Dubai, Barcelona, and Miami. We have 5 beautiful hotels around the world, and everybody, I guess, knows the Nikki Beach Dubai on Dubai Pearl, and the seasonal hotel in Greece. I'm heading to Greece tomorrow, in Santorini. Porto Heli as well, which is actually very reachable from Athens by car, so a very interesting location. And we don't need to forget, obviously, our beautiful hotel in Thailand, Koh Samui, and more other projects coming. So thank you again. I'm not here to talk about me. I'm here just to introduce, and I'm looking forward to get
that
your
was a
question.
fantastic introduction, Vinicio. Let me hand you over to Omar.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Vinicio, for that wonderful introduction. Again, thank you, the hotel show, Edward, definitely yourself. We go way back, and for the invitation. Izu with us as well. Thank you for all being here, part of the show. A little bit about us. I'm the founder of Orange Hospitality. We're a boutique operator, and we take pride in everything that we do. We have El Boro Tuscan Bistro here in Dubai, and we have Alici Dubai. We are also set to open El Boro in London very soon, in first quarter 2021. Things have been slightly adjusted, I would say, with 2020 being a very eventful year. Let's not look at the negative, let's say, for the school, but we look at it now behind us and for the future. El Boro, talking about hospitality in general and hotels in a sense, is a beautiful estate in the heart of Tuscany. It's 1,000 years old. Again, a family business that is owned by the Ferragamo family. And truly, I would say a place like no other. It's a place that is a true farm-to-table concept, I would call it. And we're very fortunate to really succeed and kind of cement our benchmark in Dubai when it comes to Italian dining. And now, obviously, bringing it to international markets. So that's your introduction for me.
Thank you, Omar. Great to see you. And Chef Izu.
Oh, thank you, guys. Honestly, it's a privilege to be with you guys. I mean, with professionals and those who are passionate about what we do. My name is Izu Ani. I've been a chef for 27, actually coming up to 28 years. I started when I was a very young lad. What got me into cooking was the love of, actually, I should keep it nice and clean here. It was mostly, I mean, I went into a class full of women, and that's what I fell in love with the cooking, basically. Anyway, and over the years, I've traveled. Basically, I love traveling, discovering new cultures, and food is all about telling the story from the culture. So that's what got me into discovering more. My philosophy is never stay still. Always find ways to improve. Always find ways to add. And that's what's taking me around the world from France. I lived in there for many years to Spain, worked for Azak, Mogaret, Carrari, and then did a lot of traveling around Italy and also traveled around Asia. I love the culture of the Asians. It's all about the balance. It's all about the connectivity with what you eat and basically they believe food is a medicine, and the way they look at it, it's astonishing because they carry that philosophy all the way through, from looking after even the kitchen, the staff, to the produce and to the customer. So I had a privilege to spend quite a lot of time in Asia, and I'm in Dubai. I opened my first restaurant 10 years ago here with La Petite Maison, which became an instant success. It was I mean, I could say it's owned to me, but no, actually it was a collective. It was a team effort that we had great people, were like-minded, we pushed together, and excellence was the name of the game, and we delivered it. But we had a philosophy behind it, how we treated each other. And then after that, I left. Actually, I didn't leave. I got kicked out, actually. But anyway, we'll leave that for another story. But any disappointment spurs you on to something bigger, and I know you did. You can stay behind and cry about what's happened, or you can look forward and look at the opportunities that you can make from it. So, and I think that's connected with what's happening now with the pandemic and everything. We can't look back at what we've lost. We have to look forward, how we make it better, how we encourage each other, how we get because at the end there, people come to restaurants to take joy. Food is a way to transmit our happiness to others. So we have to always look how we connect with that, how we touch the ingredients. So that's always been my philosophy. And then I opened La Serre, and then I opened Gaia. I'm a part owner of Gaia. We've opened in Monaco. We're going to open in London next year, hopefully Saint-Tropez. We're going to open also Mykonos. Also, we've signed a contract for Moscow. There's a huge expansion there with that. And plus, I have my own I created a restaurant for my wife called Karine, so she can leave me a note. I'm not joking. No, but I created that restaurant because because I met her in France, and actually I met her in a bakery. Our eyes met, and I said hello, and we got 2 kids after that. So yeah, it's a short way. It's a short story. But food brings a lot of people together, and it's a way to connect with each other. So that's a very quick introduction from me. I mean, I don't want to bore people. I know we got a lot of questions to get through, so that's who I am.
Izu, thank you very much. That was fascinating, and to all of you guys, it's great hearing your backstories. And now back to the main focus today, and that's talking around food and beverage strategies to ultimately achieve success. A note to the audience is we haven't been having weeks worth and days worth of banter and conversations preparing for this. This today is a live conversation, so you're seeing it as it is, and there's been no prearranged script. I've got 4 questions that I notified these guys I would ask, and then other than that, the rest of the questions will be curveballs.
Edward, I haven't read your questions, by the way, so
I knew you wouldn't, so I'm going to catch you out. Don't worry. Guys, we've got about 45 minutes worth of talking time here. And at the end, I hope we're going to be able to have some time. This is around the audience as much as ourselves and their participation, or inverted commas, your participation. We'd love to have some questions and some queries in respect to the subject matter today. The only criteria I've shared with the team is that I want these conversations to be progressive, forward-thinking, rather than looking back and debating about yesterday. And so I'm going to pose the first question to Vinicio, and then on to Omar, and then Izu. And it's in connection now with the fact that the market has opened to an extent, and you've started to receive data, receive feelings, receive sentiments from consumers, colleagues, and ultimately you can see what's coming into the till. How have things been so far since the reopening, and what's the prospect for tomorrow onwards? And when I say tomorrow onwards, I'm not talking a 10-year journey, sort of the rest of the year, or a sort of year-on-year 12-month period. How do you see things, Vinicio?
Obviously, the reality is that we all got caught by surprise in a way. There was no preparation for such a crisis. And the fact is not a Middle East, Asian, is actually a worldwide crisis. Historically, we went through a lot of the crises, right? So, and you always came back stronger and stronger. I think what's happened in the last 4 or 5 months, we went through a very educational time. We educate ourselves through it. We, in principle, try to learn on a daily basis on what was the best practice to implement it, to change. Our luck as an Nikki Beach company, as I said, we are very small, but we are very diversified. So we cover pretty much multiple continents. Our property are located globally. So I have a great opportunity to understand what was required from a government, what was the tendency, and what is the new trend in a way in customer behavior across different continents, not just the Middle East. And that helped me in a way to share best practice among the team. I think I would like to say that now we are in a way trying to adjust to what I would define the new normal. So I think we are not in a position where we are going to dramatically change our standard. We are just trying to improve our standard, or at least to make some adjustment to our standard, which at the end of the day, we just make the guest journey better and better. I think what we can see here is, yes, all the best practice implemented in terms of sanitization, and everybody's talking about it, but the most important things, our obligation right now, I think, is towards our customer, and it's also towards our loyal customer that from the last 20 years are loyal to us and they believe in what we're doing, is basically to create an environment for them when they visit us, which is comfortable and they feel actually look after, they feel home, and we are trying to rebound very strongly with them. So all our practice in terms of operational practice are simply, as I said, to add on top of what we are usually do, to do not actually give too much attention to the sanitization part, to the mask, to all these elements, which at the end will be there because it's necessary. But we want to still keep the core value of you coming, you celebrate life, you enjoy an experience, you live the moment, you come to dine out, you come to stay with us in Nikki Beach to have a good time. And we don't want anybody to get affected by all the surroundings. So yes, there's a measurement and practice, but let's say it's a new normal. After, how do I see things moving? Probably, you know, some of the important changes that we were planning to make in terms of, you know, expansion and progression are a little bit on hold at the moment. We are trying to consolidate. We're trying to work on pretty much around the team. The team is the focus number one. The team and the team behavior, and obviously we have a high responsibility towards them. We are rebound with our core client, so we have a strong responsibility towards our core client, communicating freely, communicating without necessarily too many hidden stories. So it's an open communication, asking even our customer, our loyalty guests, what do they like to see when they come to us, and getting the feedback from them. And of course, at the end of the day, our corporate approach also has changed. We're simply back on our roots. We're simply back on where we used to be. And actually, as I said before, we're even bonding more together. So the next 6 months, probably, as I said, I want to say contingency plan, but keep it up, keep doing, adjusting to what is the requirement, general requirement. And probably I'm confident October will be Q4. We will see again a change in terms of, you know, more tourists coming. I will give another 6 to 12 months probably to see a post-COVID situation. It's but again, as I said, we always want to find the opportunity around these unseen events, and the attitude is still the same. We are positive.
So, Vinicio, before I hand over to Omar, a quick yes and a no, or a quick answer is the spending pattern today the same as yesterday? What's the difference?
I mean, there's a very the demographic has changed. Don't forget, for example, if you talk about Dubai, 7 million people are still diners that go around on daily basis, but again, there is some spending constriction. Everyone, of course, in a way or another, is getting affected. I think quality should never go down. Maybe we can reduce slightly the menu offering. Maybe, actually, not maybe, we are going to have a stronger renegotiation process with our supply chain. We are more connected as well together as hospitality sector. Everyone is facing the same challenge. So even when you call the suppliers, they're willing to anyway come your way. So yes, we can maybe get a little bit more affecting our cost, keeping our price in line, and we're not expecting a huge revenue to come in. But at the same time, we want to be accessible, and we still want to make sure that the experience is top.
Okay.
So yes, this part has changed. But
okay, over to you, Omar.
We manage it.
You've been open actually a good few weeks now, off the top of my head. You know, how have you found that period, and where do you see yourself going forward?
El Bor and Alici both opened very much at the beginning, or at the onset of the government releasing the restrictions. So I mean, I would say initially when everything started to shut down, obviously there was a bit of an unknown there. A lot of people didn't know what's happening. We took a very steady and calculated approach to the situation, and obviously we looked at the worst case scenario. The worst case scenario, I would say, didn't happen in Dubai. We were very fortunate to be here. You know, we saw the market open up by the end of April. and this was honestly something that we didn't even expect happening. And by then we were still in Ramadan, which meant that still you didn't really see that impact of people, coming post easing of restrictions. And then at the end of Ramadan, they started, releasing the alcohol after Eid. So generally, I would say, beginning of June was the start of the recovery, June and July. And we were open from the very beginning. So from the onset of April, both restaurants were open, and I can say that we've seen a very positive trend, and I'm very fortunate again to be again in this market, because Vinicio, you touched base on having reach with different let's say markets around the world, with Nikki Beach's presence there, and what I can say is speak for ourselves here in Dubai, and I would say that it's leading the way in the recovery on a global level. June and July, year to date and month to date, are much better than what they were last year. So that tells you and gives you that strong indication that people are social creatures. People will go out to restaurants, they will celebrate birthdays, they will do anniversaries, gatherings. This is the one thing I think in life that you would never switch and have virtual. Obviously, we would love to have this webinar in a beautiful large auditorium with people, and we want to bring back those days of really kind of being connected, because I think this is very important for people mentally, emotionally, and what we see in terms of trends. I can count the amount of sponsored ads I'm seeing on my Instagram of face masks. It's becoming uncontrollable. Even with high retail brands taking this and using it, let's say, as a fashion accessory. We live in a world now where people are they could ease the restriction of wearing face masks maybe, and people might still use it. It's no longer a cliche to wear a face mask like it was before. It's no longer a cliche to work from home like it used to be before. So I think the world is adapting and almost making the best of it, I would say. Humans always try to find the best of the situation, and we see that in all our venues. We took we took the location in London in the first weeks of April, and that was when everything was shutting down. So as a company and as an operator, we were very confident and very sure of the recovery from this very difficult period, let's say, and we're plowing through. We're beginning construction next month, and we hope to be open first quarter next year. So I believe again it's just keeping that positive mindset. The team was very much on board. We didn't make any drastic decisions that could have impacted the team, and we had them immediately on board when we wanted them, which was from the very, very beginning. So that's our journey so far.
Let me interrupt and ask you, your customers that are coming back or came back, are they the same that you had last year, or have you got a different set, or you've noticed new persons coming in? Where are they coming from?
Well, I would say both our brands have a really strong loyal local customer database from the market. So we're generally not seen as a tourist kind of F&B outlet. So with that, actually during lockdown, if I could, I was receiving many messages and calls from customers that we had who were calling, guys, do you need any help? Stick in there. And so we have this strong, loyal, local, let's say, customer database. And these are the people who would now be in Mykonos, would be in Monaco, would be, flying around the world. And essentially, with the situation is what it is, they will still enjoy life and go out to restaurants. So I think the volume that we're seeing today is the local domestic volume, the volume of the people that are from Dubai. And if you're lucky enough, go for it.
I was going to say your average spend, I'm assuming you've dropped the number of seats you can have in the restaurant. So your average spend's up if you've got a year-on-year likeness?
Yeah. Well, I can safely say that we didn't see any drop in terms of average spend, and I think people who go to, and I'm speaking for ourselves. In the end of the day, we're considered a more fine luxury dining experience. People who come to our venues are not really impacted by the COVID situation. So these people will always go out no matter what, to enjoy life, to spend. And I believe, many people, after all this frustration of being at home, you have also that spending frustration mentality. People want to just spend, and get the most out of life. So I think, we haven't really seen a dip in terms of spending. I would say the dip maybe was on restrictions made from the government in terms of capacity. So we couldn't take more capacity. We had to retain a certain safety distance between tables, so we had to reduce the number of covers in the restaurant. But looking at people enjoying life. I mean, when I walk inside the restaurant, I see people having fun. They're sitting there, they're hugging each other. I mean, again, it's up to preference, but I would tell you very, very confidently that the new norm is definitely never going to be where socially people are going to be disconnected. That's something that I believe will continue, no matter how difficult life gets in our way. People will always find a way to make the best out of it, and to enjoy life with their loved ones. So that's our experience so far.
That's a beautiful segue into you, Chef Izu.
It's nice to hear the perspective of my fellow colleagues. But I'm one of these guys that I can't accept the new norm. I don't accept things easily. I love to add to what I do, but I ask myself, what is normal? During when everything was closing down, I mean, at the end of the day, I personally took we took the decision not to go into the delivery world, because I still felt that we had to keep the direction of where we wanted to go with the brand, and at the end of the day, there's always a knee-jerk reaction sometimes, and I think, and I'll be very outspoken about this. With the whole pandemic, I think there's a lot of unknown, and a lot of people have taken decisions that we'll only know the impact later on. And every time I hear COVID and I hear the things that are happening, I just try to engage with common sense, because I don't hear too much of like the simple, because do we know, a lot of people know that when you're stressed, it dilutes your immune system. That's one of the things that affects you. So of course you're gonna catch things, you're gonna get things, but nobody's promoting eating healthy, staying alert, to keeping the mind active. And as a restaurateur, people come to my restaurant to take joy, and that joy gives the immune system the strength. And that's where, when we reopen, I did not want to have that doom and gloom. The world is ending. No, I'm not gonna buy into that. I'm gonna resist that, because at the end of the day, people come to my venues because they want to take that joy. Like Omar said, that you go out to a restaurant to exchange your energy with the people that you like. Who goes out with someone that they don't like, and then who eats with the people that they don't want to share that moment with? So it's that affection that you sit around the table to exchange the smiles. It's like when you watch a funny movie, you watch it alone, it's funny, but you watch it with others, it's even funnier, because the laughter enhances your own laughter. Do you know? Imagine someone go, "Oh, taste that, taste that." That's why I love the sharing of a meal, because the Middle Eastern culture of eating is all about, let's share, let's eat together, let's sit on the floor, and there's no stigma, there's no hierarchy. And I've eaten with a lot of local guests that I know. They've invited me to their home. We sit on the floor. They serve me with their hands, and I eat with my hands. And I thought that is something that I'm not going to accept, that we're not going to have that anymore. We're not going to have that connectivity. It's all up to all of us to say, are we okay? Yes, there will always be things that will always challenge human race, but it's up to us how we absorb it, to look at it, and do something about it, instead of having a knee-jerk reaction. And that's where, for me, as a restaurateur, I'm going to always plug the idea that people come to take happiness. And that's my responsibility to do as, and I will always, to be honest, when everybody hypes on about sanitization, and we do that anyway. I'm sorry, we do that. That is a part of our respect for our customers. Our machines are clean. You can cut. I always design kitchens where you can see inside. Because for me, if I go to a restaurant that you can't see the kitchen, or I go to a toilet and it's dirty, I'm not going to eat in that establishment, because that's the little details that, if you care about your customers, you look into. And that's where the sanitization, everyone's bragging about it, trying to sell me this tube that you sanitize yourself before you get in the restaurant. I said, what's going on? And I get upset with people like that, or selling me masks with this and all that. Stop it. I'm sorry. At the end of the day, there's an overkill of people trying to make money out, instead of saying, wait a minute. Yes, let's take precautions, because at the moment we're going through a pandemic where some people are adversely affected than others. But also, let's also see how we can help others by trying to get through it. And I'm sorry, there's a lot of things that sometimes you have to use your own common understanding or common sense to engage with what you know. Human beings, they know a lot of things, but very few engage with it. And that's where I say, guys, it's like I was walking just after the lockdown, walking into one of my restaurants. A woman that was like 4 meters away. I was on the phone. Mask was down. She took energy from her body to tell me, put your mask on. When you get into the bar in my own restaurant, take it off. So I'm thinking Corona exists outside, but it doesn't exist in the bar. So where is that? And you're 4 meters away from me. Why using your energy? And that's where I get up. I just said, don't say anything, Izu. Just keep walking, because at the end of the day, stupidity has been given a license to a lot of people, and they don't think. And that's where I just said, guys, you're going to come to my restaurant, and I love to go, mwah, mwah, hello, darling. Because that's what people want. They want to be recognized. They want to exchange your energy. And if they come to my restaurant and I'm feeling miserable, I'm sorry, they're not going to enjoy themselves. So I still go, mwah, mwah, if the guys wants me to go, mwah, mwah. And those who are overly cautious, they will stay at home, and naturally, because they'll protect themselves. It's like, if you're feeling ill, if I'm feeling ill, I wouldn't go out. I'll stay in. If I'm feeling anything at all that I'm abnormal in any way, I'll stay in. I don't want to affect anybody. So this is why I live by that way, because from day one, we all should do that. Why do we want to give something else to someone else that we don't know if they can take it? So anyway, but saying that, the restaurant, since we reopened it after Eid, it has been doing fantastic. And touch wood, I mean, and I remember the second day we opened, this woman, tall, she was beautiful, by the way. Anyway, she walked into the restaurant wearing her mask. As soon as she walked into the restaurant, she peeled off her mask like she was in a catwalk. And one of the guests said, "You go, girl," because it was joyful, because they wanted to live again. And that's the thing. We can't live in hibernation for how long? I mean, we're going to hide from something we don't see. Or should we just change the messaging and say, let's live healthy, balance? It's like, for me, a diet is restrictive. A lifestyle is about what you do that you believe in. And that's what we should do, live a balance, a lifestyle, instead of trying to live a diet, which is restrictive, which is against the human race and the way we live. It's like, we should be kind to each other, but that shouldn't change now. When people shouting abuse, why are they shouting abuse? If I've done something, talk to me in a polite way. And that's where I don't get with the whole situation. So I don't know. I'm one of them guys. I can't accept whatever new norm people say there is a new norm. I don't know what's a new norm. I don't even know what normal is. So yeah, that's my opinion on that.
Izu, I think in our own demeanor, we all understand and probably agree with your philosophy, and you know, the vision and strategy, whatever we're doing, whether it's Orange or Nikki or Elevate or your operations, is we're in the business of celebrating social connections. And you know, your piece there, I think, and you know, I've known you a long time, so I knew you'd give me some good philosophy there. Anybody else wants to watch anything else, just follow his Instagram. But coming back to, you know, nuts and bolts and putting meals on table and you know, paying the landlord, are you sharing, or are you sensing and feeling the same sentiments that Omar inferred in terms of the local market from your operations, be it Korean or Gaia or Lighthouse, etc.?
Sorry, I missed that. What last bit?
I think, are you sharing and feeling the same sort of financial response, return of loyal guests that Omar has been feeling from his Bilboro and Ligi?
Yeah, I completely agree with Omar, because at the end of the day, to have something, you have to build it. And loyal guests won't send you a message if you haven't shown them hospitality. This is the thing. We are in a hospitable world, but hospitality, but very people show being hospitable. And that's the thing. You have to, if you go into a ATM machine and put your card in, if you've never put any money in, you can't get anything out. So the thing is, yeah, since we closed and we opened again, of course, we built a loyalty. We built because of the standard, the philosophy. I always say food is not just transforming product into something else. It's about the philosophy behind it, how you care about it. So the way you care about your customers, of course, that's how they're going to react towards you, what your product is. And I got to be honest, Kareen has been phenomenal. It's even better than last year. At the same time, yes, because people are here. But saying that, people have chosen, they will choose where they go to because they have maybe limited funds. Because Kareen is a bit more accessible, because in the price point, Gaia has a bit more of a luxury end to it. But still, we had a very, very, I mean, even better than last year in Gaia. So this is also because it's the energy you put in the walls, in the people greeting people, in the chairs, in the food. A lot of people said the food in Gaia tastes better than when we are closed. And I said, because you haven't had it for so long. But they said, no, it just tastes better, because I believe in reinvesting. Instead of saying, okay, let's cut this, let's use inferior ingredients. I said, no, we give better, because they are coming back for that. So I have even knocked it up a notch, even changed ingredients, because I feel confident about my product. Because at the end of the day, if I show my customers that I'm not confident about the product I've got, they're going to feel that I'm not confident. They're not going to support it. And that's what it is. It's about sensing the confidence. We all have to be confident about our product when we open up again. We can't just live in, I don't know what tomorrow's going to do, so I'm going to cut this, I'm going to get cheaper this. That's not fair. A client deserves the honesty. Food should be honest when you serve it to a customer. And that's why I say to everybody in the industry, be brave. You understand your product? Go out there, flaunt it. Make sure you give them the best. Give them even better. And that's where because people come to take that joy.
Yeah. No, good point. Let me pose a question to yourself, Omar. Moving forward, we've here we are basically on the cusp of August. Got to get through summer. How do you see September? Let's say sort of more like October onwards. Do you have the same, or do you feel that there's the same opportunity to achieve year on year, or do you see hurdles and challenges ahead?
Well, I think it's important to highlight, I mean, the seasonality of Dubai in general. Usually at the onset of end of Ramadan, now Ramadan every year, as you know, gets earlier and earlier. It's getting closer to New Year. So let's see how that ends up in the couple of years. But anyway, because of the seasonality, we are generally used to seeing Q3 be the slowest quarter of the year. And because of that volume of people who stayed in Dubai, and those are people, I mean, when we refer to these people, these are people who can afford to stay here, are let's say, business owners, investors, in general, people who can enjoy the Dubai lifestyle. These people have brought that positive growth in that Q3 because they didn't travel as they would last year. So again, looking at September, the Dubai tourism industry in general, I think, is the most heaviest hit with this pandemic. Be it airlines, Emirates is the leader, is the #1 airline globally, and it's so heartbreaking to see the difficulties that they went through. But I'm sure now with new destinations, easing of travel restrictions into the country, that Dubai, I'm 100% sure, has a huge plan for re-energizing tourism into Dubai, because this is what Dubai is all about. It's about tourism and it's about hospitality. So I think this will definitely is on everyone's agenda on the recovery, and we're very proud to be as well under the leadership of people who are extremely quick. The leadership of Dubai is very quick to make decisions. They are on it, and I'm sure they will bring Dubai back to its feet. And I strongly believe that it would be sooner than we think it would be. And I think people will travel, and they will travel in big volumes. Again, this is in light of recent developments with potentially a vaccine coming around the corner. I think the world is waiting for that, and very soon that transitional moment will happen. And Dubai will be very ready to welcome that volume. That's my point of view, and I'm definitely looking forward to that. We are prepared for that, and we already see it. So already, as I said, compared to last year, it's been more positive than last year, and I say it very humbly because we worked very hard for it. And again, we went with the restrictions. Obviously, Dubai eased those restrictions for us very quickly as well. So as of the 1st of June. They allowed more occupancy, even amongst the GCC countries around us and neighboring Emirates. Dubai was always, let's get the people back in business. And that mentality, that attitude really kind of was the saving grace for many people in the hospitality industry. And I only sympathize. We never let go of our people. We never let go of people that we know in the industry. We always let a lending hand, and we stuck in there. So that's my thoughts for the next months.
Okay, and Vinicio, I'm going to assume your business model's around the same. So your period 3 or quarter 3 is technically your slowest, and I'm talking about your property in Dubai. What plans and what have you got sort of ready for achieving your quarter 4 hopeful success?
First of all, I need to say that we are sort of lucky because of the location, the size of the property. We never really, we try to avoid the sort of a mass market affiliation. So in a sense, our clientele is pretty much exclusive, and they're looking for that specific product. I'm talking about hotel business here, not necessarily the restaurant experience, but whatever Izu said, I can reflect it here. The product that we offer is not just the meal, but the overall experience is very unique. And that allowed us to never close Dubai. So Dubai, Nick Beach, never been closed. So we went through the whole pandemic stages, and we never closed. And it was one of the few hotels that managed to stay open. And basically, our June also was very positive, very, very good. We have a very unique villa segment, 15 villas, and super unique on the sea. It's sort of being somewhere else, not necessarily in Dubai, and that gives us this luxury of attracting a very unique group of clientele. So at the end of the day, we've been extremely conscious in looking at our cost. But not reducing the quality. Obviously, it's always quality without compromising. But at the end of the day, we run 110 rooms hotel and 15 villas. It's a different business model. There's a very strong fixed cost involved. So unfortunately, one of our restaurants has to be closed. But at the same time, we are planning for a reopening in the last quarter, which will be actually an additional food and beverage outlet in aware to the existing offer. And we are planning to be very truthful and outcoming social media. So I don't want to say we have promotion, but we have activation. A lot of activation to bring back the people, to sound still very contemporary, interesting. And again, that will allow us in a way to use our outdoor spaces. Most of our restaurants are on the beach, on the sea. We all know that people last part of the year, Q4, we love to be outdoor, and that is a big plus for us in a way. So there's a lot of activation on the outdoor, and in a way, yes, the sense of coming together, celebrate life will still be there with the necessary measure, and that's pretty much it. So I think business as usual in a way, and we believe that with the reopening of our F&B options, reopening of our beach club as well, Anyhow, historically, as Omar said, all of this happened in a time of the year where we were naturally already closed. We always close July and August. So, you know, I don't want to say we are lucky in the unlucky, but at the end of the day, if in October tourism are coming back on top of our 7 million people in UAE that are constantly going out and diners, I'm sure we will be able to level, you know, the bottom line to the previous year. Always expecting level of occupancy that will be lower, because this is a cruel reality. We cannot expect to be on the same level of occupancy, but it's all about balancing. And again, necessarily not touching the price, delivering quality, and making smart decision in the offer. So, you know, there's a lot of technicality behind that. Unfortunately, we don't have the luck to own our own small restaurant. It's a little bit more wider exercise that we need to do between the room and the hotel and the F&B. But definitely, I can see the strategy is there, and the social media, as I said. I just want to open a parenthesis here. 40% spike on Instagram. You know, I mean, the social media now is becoming so important. People are so used to technology and so used on engagement, and the engagement on social media also will give you the opportunity to promote ourselves in a different way. And definitely there's going to be a lot of activation coming through the last quarter in Nikki.
And Vinicio, you know, one of the significant operations there at Nikki Dubai is the club, and sort of what's the thoughts, not giving us fine detail, but the thought process for the reopening of the club?
I mean, around the world, the beach club are extremely successful. I don't need to mention what we have achieved the last weekend in Saint-Tropez, but I'm sure Chef Izu has some insight. Nikki is a beach club around the world. None of our beach clubs remain closed. All the operations are successfully running. And we are still in the middle of I don't want to say in the middle of the pandemic, but let's say the effect of the pandemic is universal and it's still there. But still the business sustain, and people, they're still willing to go and celebrate. Obviously, we need to see how the measure from the government will take place in the last quarter. In terms of anything is going to change, still we don't know, instead of gathering in the pool or getting together. But don't forget our business model. The beach club is also based on a very quality restaurant. Our quality food and the restaurant itself is very successful when the experience in the pool and all the celebration around and the DJ and the music is actually balancing out the restaurant dining experience. So in a way or in another, we are confident that we will be able to reopen probably with the same sort of new standard that we have implemented in the hotel side. And definitely we will still have our quality entertainment, because for us it's very important. And we will basically wait pretty much when the summer seasonal property around the world will close. We will also get some expertise back to Dubai. Our client travelers, they move from Saint-Tropez from the summer, they're back in Dubai in the winter. So I think at the end of the day, there's going to be, again, all our initiative for the reopening as we used to do any other year. So pretty much business as usual if we can still comply with the rules and regulation.
Mindset of Chef Izu. Chef Izu, this is a sort of question for Omar and yourself. You've both got international developments in the food and beverage sphere coming online over the next 12 months, and Vinicio, you know, you're in inverted commas already operating a global organization. But Chef Izu, what changes have you made in your approach to the sort of process of implementation of your new concepts coming out, or replicated concepts, let's say Gaia, for example, that you have in the pipeline? What changes in the processes that you've already established successfully in Dubai are you now looking to tweak or change? I'm not talking about the cultural implications, but I'm talking more around the inverted commas meal experience.
I mean, to be honest, me changing is a daily thing. It is something I always find ways to change to be better. But I don't change because there's something has told me to change. I change because there's a need to change. Whenever I do something, there must be a why, because the why equals the cause. I mean, at the end of the day, it's the causality, which I love that word, because there's always a reason for things to happen. So I mean, I like when Omar, I mean, he plugged the Emirates airline there, which is nice, which I'm a big fan of Emirates airline. And the reason why I'm a big fan of Emirates airline is because they have a can-do attitude, and in Dubai as a whole, it's a can-do. It's not about wallowing. It's about how we're gonna do it, and we put it into place. We don't over discuss it. We just do it. And I've traveled British airline. I will never do that again, because I just think that it's a miserable airline. No, I'm sorry, I don't want to upset anybody, but I'm sorry, Emirates, every time I go there, it's like a successful, because they feel that they will do it, and Dubai as a whole. And that's where I've been living here for 10 years. That energy, that air has got into my blood. I cannot say to myself, I'm going to be second. Everything I do, I have to be first. I'm sorry, I don't go into a race thinking I'm going to lose it. So I'm not going to change how I think about things. Yes, I will evolve like any all humans, and that process has happened already, because now I'm starting a company with my partners, which called Kitchen, which is basically an online virtual restaurants, which we're going to do no bricks and mortar. It's all about the virtual concept, because we see there's a need, and that's going to be here for a long while. Guy's perspective on development will not change the direction. The only direction anything we're going to add to it is make it even better, make it even an overall experience, make it a wow factor. So I've learned a lot through the pandemic, through the whole system, is that never give up, never turn back, never question your ability to do what you do. But yes, I can evolve, and which I am in the right way. The virtual concept is with a leading hotel brand, which soon we will announce, because they also believe in that, in the future of the virtual world, because it's all about living side by side. The bricks and mortar will never die. That experience will never die. But we're going to add another experience level to the way we live. And that's what I mean. You look at the iPhone. I mean, before, years ago, it was Nokia. Nokia was the big thing. And where's Nokia today? I mean, you have to be ready to evolve, or you'll be a dinosaur. So this is how, for me, it's all about engaging in what you learn, adding it to the now, being relevant to now and tomorrow. And that's where, for me, it's not about changing your core values or your philosophy. It's about changing how you basically you connect with tomorrow.
Let me stop you there, Izu, and throw the same question to you, Omar, but I'm going to put a time limit on you. You got about 120 seconds or 2 minutes.
Yes. No, I'll be shorter than that, for sure. Look, I'll tell you something. I mean, with us, it's again the Orange Hospitality as an operator, setting itself up in the UK. This has been going on for 2 years and a half now. This is not something that just came up, and obviously we didn't settle for anything but the best when it comes to where we position our brands and how we position them and how we operate them. And I have to say that, again, you know, we are quite discreet in the way that we manage things, but we're very much online in our daily practice. And I'm very excited because we will be announcing very soon. Obviously now with COVID, you know, you have to be very careful when you communicate certain things, and for that we have revisited our launch strategy for what we're doing. But definitely, you know, the hygiene factor, I would say, is probably the most important, and then of course when we talk about products, you know, our concepts are all about sustainability, all about organic farming, organic mentality, biodynamic in general. Even when you look at El Boro as a brand, you know, it's a wonderful product that we're launching because it's so true to its context. Its strongest USP is the place itself. it's a huge piece of land. History that dates back 1,000 years, and again, they have implemented and again thought of it from a forward mentality standpoint, which invested a lot in keeping everything that we do biodynamic and organic. Sorry, I hope that didn't cross over. Probably we have questions from
You shot it to death, Omar.
Sorry.
I'm wary because I know some hot buttons of Chef Izu, so I'm going to avoid asking you this, Izu, and I'm going to go to Omar, and I just want a 1 or a 3-word answer. We've had hundreds of questions, and I've tried to pick out 3.
Yeah.
And this is in connection with something you were just inferring to. Izu, you can't respond. Supply chains and sourcing. How has this impacted your cost structures? Give me, has it impacted, yes or no?
Yes, definitely, yes.
And as chefs, and this is the question from the audience, as chefs, should we be looking to source locally?
I'm not a chef, but I would assume yes, because that's what we're doing. We are sourcing definitely locally, and there are amazing local products out here.
And Vinicio, what's your perspective on the supply chain impact in terms of costs?
But as I said before, everyone is into this situation. So the supply chain will still try to source locally the best product, and definitely there is a little bit of a hit that everyone has to take. At the end of the day, we need to protect the customer, and we need to make sure that we don't take advantages from this situation that at the end, on the long term, is going to become a disadvantage, increases our price simply because the cost of the supplies has increased. We need to choose wisely. We, as Nikki, we have a local approach to everything that we are doing in every location. That's why we keep local, we stay local. At the end, we eat good.
Perfect. Chef Izu, I've got a different question from Chandan Rai. And you know, you've got operations in some pretty prominent spots in Dubai. And sorry, apologies, from David Thomas. And he's asking, has this current situation overexposed or simply exposed the existing restaurant performance and the fact that the market was already oversupplied?
I agree. I completely agree. At the end of the day, the market was oversupplied with everything and anything. And to be honest, the market now is recalibrating itself. At the end of the day, if your product wasn't good enough before the pandemic, it's, as I said before, you haven't built the following. You can't expect it to come afterwards. So, and to be honest, I've done like, I don't know, 8 restaurants in Dubai. And everybody keeps asking me, what is my vision? My vision is to challenge everybody that opens a restaurant. You've got to be better. Every customer that eats food has to come and eat tasty food. And that's what I don't want people to just open a restaurant just because they've got spare money or they fancy being a restaurateur. Give the respect to the customer by giving them a great product. And people will go back for a great product. I'm sorry. It's one of these things. If something is good, I will go back to. And I went to a Japanese restaurant in downtown twice, one after, and it was an amazing experience. I got there, Cohantas. You take off your shoe, you are transported into a different culture, the whole experience, and I loved it. And I went back the next week. And yes, for me, I don't count the cost of the experience because I enjoyed it. And I loved it, and I will promote it because I love to see restaurants that live the value they want people to live, and that's why I love.
Let me cut you out there because we're over time, and I'm just going to ask the 3 of you to give me 3 words each, and then we're going to wrap up. Chadam Rai asks, what are the 3 insights that each panelist would give the broader restaurant industry on what to focus on? 3 words. Starting with you, Vinicio, finishing with you, Izu, and I want 3 words, Izu.
Okay, number 1, find a way to be innovative. I think that's one of the crucial things. never compromise on quality. Always deliver the great and the best that you can. And I think the number 3, probably, I would say for the next 6 months, focus domestically, local, understand that this is your people and tailor your product for the customer that you have. So be very specific in what is your offer towards the demand. And that's is the key of success.
3 words.
I would say team, and team. It's all about your team. For the broader audience, guys, take care of your team. These are the guys who are going to work tirelessly on the floor to make it happen day in and day out. They're going to please the customers, and they're going to bring you back to where you need to be. So team beyond all, because they're going to make everything a success, especially when it comes to customers coming back and experiencing your venues.
And Izu, can you say 3 words?
Love, respect, and of course, salt. You need salt in food.
I love it. Well, guys, and specifically, I should say a big thank you to the Hotel Show for having us. There's going to be a number of these live online discussions, probably just after the summer in the September-October period and further into the year. But thank you very much indeed for having us, for being here.
Thank you, Edward.
Hospitality.
Much appreciated. Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you, everyone.